Hi.
Hi, how are you?
It was like 2 years this week that we were in the studio.
Fuck, that's so true, yeah.
You wore a lot of good socks.
I don't tend to think about socks that much. I do consider them when I'm getting dressed, though. It just depends what I'm wearing on the top.
You did a lot on this record. You wore 5 or 6 different hats. You
A
composed.
metaphor. For me, it all just blurred into one role. I mean, because we all were doing a lot. Me, you, and Sterling were all... It was kind of a all hands on deck.
Yeah.
The part of the process I enjoy the most is kind of like the first kind of session or the first few days after you've like cracked whatever the song is. That's the fun part.
Yeah.
And with your music, there's a lot of mystery, you know, because your demos are very ethereal and they're beautiful and they're great, but they can also just be kind of like, all right, well, this could be anything. We could take this anywhere.
Yeah.
And then trying to figure out what that's going to be
Yeah.
can sometimes be a bit of a head fuck because you're like, well, I don't want to spoil what it is.
Yeah.
But I also think it needs to do something, but I don't know what. You know what I mean?
It's Pity to Love, the actual song. I remember bringing it to you and you were just like, literally, what is this? And then once we cracked it, you get over the hill of like, I don't know if this will make it.
Yeah.
Hot damn!
We decided to
Yeah.
just do a few songs and then the pandemic happened.
Yeah, I remember working on Always and Ocean, and that was during lockdown for sure. And that felt much more casual because we were just kind of like throwing stuff around.
Totally. And then I think Forget It came in the mix. After we started working on that song, I decided that it would be a record, which I don't
Right.
think you had heard any of the rest of the songs at that point.
I remember we decided, okay, we're going to go in to the studio every day for, was it 2 weeks?
Yeah.
And we're just going to finish the whole record in this 2 weeks. I think that there was still stuff that we needed to do after like touching up, but it was like more or less like pretty much recorded in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Which is a personal record for me.
yes.
I know that a lot of bands do that, and they're like, yeah, we made it in 2 weeks or whatever. And I'm like, well, we did it in 2 weeks, and it's like a lot of stuff.
At 3 different studios.
It completely DIY project. It's a homemade record, and I think it doesn't feel like that, which is really cool. All I can hear at this point is the wall of sound, and I'm like, I don't know what's making it up.
Yeah.
But it sounds good.
I heard you change the name or have a new name for your studio.
Egg. Just called Egg.
It was a pleasure working on the record with you. You're a
Likewise.
legend, so
Looking forward to the next one.
cheers to that.
Cheers. Bye.
Bye. Hi.
Hi!
You played strings on the record.
Yes.
Not only did you play strings on the record, but 2 of which you composed the strings yourself.
Mm-hmm. The first 2 that I did with Sam and Emily, that's actually one of the first times I've gone into a string session where it's been written out and ready to go.
Wow.
Because generally, like, where I thrive is coming in and building themes out. And that's what Sinclair and I did on the second 2.
Yeah.
That's where, I mean, I loved every moment of your songs are so beautiful.
Oh, thanks.
And so it was a really fun project to do regardless. But yeah, my favorite is coming in and like building things out with somebody.
Sam and I composed that string part together. He was sending me videos throughout, and you know, you guys are in this room together in this beautiful window, and I was like
I've never done something where the artist hasn't been like around in the room,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So doing that remotely was a new thing.
We were in the studio when you were working on Boogeyman, and I'm have my brain here being like, they're working on the strings, they're working on the strings, they're working on the strings. Like, focus on the song. And then we went back in after some break, and you had sent us, you know, how does this sound? And we all just kind of like sat there like, Like, I love that. We met, what was it, 2 weeks before the record came out. I was in Nashville and we got to meet in person.
We like spent the whole day together and like
went vintage shopping.
It was like an instant friendship. I was nervous for you. I was like, we stayed at Three Crow a little too long.
Just long enough.
Good luck getting to the airport.
Years ago, I went to NAMM. And you and your sisters were playing. Someone was like, oh, this is Shell. For like years, followed your music. And then when Sam was talking about wanting to bring strings players on, the world is so small. And of course I saw you 8 years ago, and then now you're playing on my record. You know, it's really special.
I just got chills. That is such a sweet full circle moment.
Yeah.
Man, NAMM. The amount of stuff that has come out of NAMM, it's still
Illness.
blows. Mostly illness.
Everyone touches everything. I get the point of it. But everyone's just...
We would play for 20 minutes every hour all day long to showcase the microphone when we were young. So many bizarre connections have come from it.
It is my dream to have you play at a show. I want people to know the people that worked on the record and also tell you how special it was. Soaring love for everything that you did.
So I am so honored that I got to play on it, and the album's just, I love it. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I'll talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon, Sarah. Bye. Hi.
Hello. I'm in my little dungeon space here. It looks quite small on this screen, but there's a desk and some drums. My dad sent me this light because he thought I was going to have like a mental breakdown in this room.
Because there's no natural light.
It mimics natural light.
Are you ever wearing sunglasses down there?
All the time. I hit record, and then I put on the Ray-Bans, and then I play drums, and then I take them off and edit myself.
But you engineer all of your own drums.
A lot of my own drums, yeah. Especially at home and especially on your album. We did some drums at Whitefish Studios, which is this mug. Hey. I think we should get Sam a coffee maker for his studio. But he doesn't really drink coffee after like 12. Unless he's working on your vocals.
That's rude. What else you got there?
A little peach schnapps.
Before noon.
Wear glasses and I drink schnapps at 10 a.m.
I think I actually have some of your drum machines here. What do you think there's more of on the record?
I think there's more drum machines. A lot of it is like processed drums. Like the intro of Boogeyman is not a real drum set. It is, but it's a loop.
I wrote the bass line for Boogeyman, and that was the start of the song. A nice, slow 70.
I was testing the microphone and I made a loop and sent it to you, I think.
It so happened to be the exact fit.
One of the really joyful parts of recording drums is dealing with many microphones and inputs and things. So
We were also all working in separate studios and then coming into one and all using different DAWs.
none of us, I would say, are very good at any of our DAWs except for Mike Davis.
Yeah. This is probably the exact week that we started working on the record.
10 years ago?
10 years ago.
It seemed a lot nicer out than it does right now.
Working on Easy For You and having to do the vocals, and it was raining. And I couldn't get through them because it was too sad outside.
That's a good mental state to be in, though, when you're recording vocals is, not stable.
Yeah, probably same for Your Way.
You did that one at your place.
Yeah, Howard.
Howard has a lot of ornaments on there.
Yeah.
I know. It's hard for me to remember percussion. I don't really remember percussion stuff. Not that shaker is not important.
If you had to be reincarnated, would you be Lars Ulrich or Jason Bonham?
My answer might surprise you, but I would rather be Lars Ulrich.
Why?
Because he's in one of the biggest bands ever. Jason's just living in the shadow of his father.
Oh, wow. Hot takes.
Anyone that knows me knows that I really don't like Metallica. I like the hits. I'm a Fairweather Metallica fan. I think we should do a Metallica cover.
Yeah, which one do you want to do? We could do one of Jason's originals.
Tribute to my dad at Morongo Casino. Well, it was nice talking to you.
Thanks for your time.
You're welcome. And thanks for having me on the record. Bye, Julia.
Bye, Sterling. Hi.
Hi.
I was working on 2 songs with Sam and Sterling. That's when I started working with you on the visuals.
I remember there was like a little video, right?
Yeah. You were doing all of the video distortion. What made you get into that?
Well, I had ordered the video synth, but it takes the guy like months to make. And so I didn't get it till like during COVID, which ended up being perfect. I happened to get it in the mail and I was like, this is what I'm doing now. Yeah, yours definitely went a very like different direction than I think the stuff that I had done with it before. So much focus on like videos and kind of more like abstract things.
When we started working on the art, I hadn't gotten Ryan's artwork yet. So we were using photos of like flowers and we were trying to get it right. And then we sort of accidentally started working on Ryan's piece.
Well, I think the album cover, I feel like we got done pretty quick.
Mm-hmm.
And then the single covers, we took time deciding on the right combination of them. Like, I feel like that was the biggest amount of time we spent on something together.
Because it's a photo of your TV screen, every time you open up Pity to Love in Apple Music, it moves and then falls into place. I'm so glad how integrated you were in the record. You did all of the artwork, filmed, and co-directed the music video, the live video shoot that we did, and then we all brought it back full circle and ran the show photos and videos through the synth.
Those are actually probably my favorite thing we've done. I know we did all the album art and stuff, but I feel like the stuff from the show looked like
it's really
so cool.
Yeah.
Because you're moving in it brings it to life.
I'm sorry that I made you shoot a whole music video on a point-and-shoot camera.
That honestly is so relieving. You know, be able to help friends and work with them, but without it being like all on me. And also you edit everything. I love working on video stuff with you because I don't have to do the editing. You
slowed down I don't know if it's called a shutter speed on a video camera, but didn't you slow down to get like...
yeah. There's this movie called Fallen Angels that's by Wong Kar-wai. He did that in like all of the like chasing scenes and stuff, and people have like done it since then. I feel like that really worked with that video too.
Especially with it being at night. We filmed it in your backyard and your landlord was above you. I imagine when they saw us all running at each other and screaming, they were like, some interesting cult shit going down. Yeah. Thank you so much for lending your complete spectrum of talents.
Way more rewarding, I think, on every end when you feel like you're really working with someone.
I'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
I'm always cleaning up after you.
If you can tell me about a game called Dream Phone.
Pretty good game from the 90s when cell phones started becoming like a more common thing. The object of the game is you have to figure out which cute boy has a crush on you. It's done by a series of cryptic phone calls.
What's the one where you have all the faces and you knock them down?
Guess Who?
Guess Who, yeah.
It's a bit more complicated than that, actually. It's more sophisticated than Guess Who. But yeah, I happen to be pretty good at the game. So you're like a detective who's like solving the case of who has a crush on you.
Yeah.
Which is kind of what we all hoped middle school would be like.
You never got any secret notes or anything?
No, I do remember one time a document was leaked. There was like a list going around that the girls had made, and I think they were ranking the boys. I was nowhere near the top, but I wasn't near the bottom, so I felt pretty good about that.
That's great. That's very Mean Girls.
It was like I was somewhere in the middle, and I was relieved.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know how you
Great.
judge the hotness of, like, you know, teenage boys covered in zits. But,
Yeah. Prepubescent.
yeah, exactly. I'm not really sure how you judge how hot they